Good evening, everybody. Ken Gonzalez here for George Langevin Productions. And we're here at Thurgood Marshall Elementary, their baseball field, and we have the first annual, the very first one. This is the Juniors World Series. This is a new division here, Scripps Ranch Little League, and we have the National League champions facing the American League champions, the Mets and the White Sox. Of course, the Mets in the orange jerseys, White Sox in the familiar black and white. We're just about set to get underway, and defensively for the Mets, the first baseman is Jared Clark, number 10. The second baseman is Ian Jason. He's number 12. The shortstop is Taylor Madigan, number 4. Over at third base is Anthony Zaki. He's number 5. And then we're going to move over here to the left fielder, and that is Sawyer Gilmore, number 2. Over in center field, Kevin Gottschalk, he's number 7. And over in right field, David Flicker is number 3. Behind the plate, the catcher, Daniel Peters, number 11, and on the mound, the pitcher, Travis Henderson, he is number 8. And they're batting everybody here today, and we'll just give you the two guys that are in the batting order but not in the field as of yet. Marvin Ordonez, number 1, and Josh Master, number 6. So we're just about set here. The home plate umpire is Doug Smith, and the field umpire is Johnny Roman. And the White Sox leading it off will be the left fielder, Michael Barr. He's number 3, and he's a right-hand batter. So Travis Henderson up on the mound.
Now batting for the White Sox, number 3, starting left fielder, Michael Barr.
So here's Michael Barr stepping in, awaiting the first pitch, the inaugural pitch of the Juniors World Series. And the first pitch is swung on and bounced to the right of the mound, and they're going to say it's a fair ball, and the throw over to first is in time. So Henderson fields the ball coming off the mound, fires it to first base over to Jared Clark, and there is one away. And here's the shortstop, Josh Woodward. So another right-hand batter here, Woodward, number 7. Henderson working out of the stretch, and he's going to plunk Woodward right on the belt, right on the backside there. And so Woodward will trot over to first base. So hit by the pitch. And that'll bring up Scotty Corcoran, the center fielder, number 11. There goes the runner, the pitch in the dirt. And so a stolen base there for Josh Woodward. And the count is 1-0 to Scotty Corcoran. Big lead there for Woodward at second base. And he's going to go to third. The throw down, not in time. In fact, it'll roll into left field. But a nice backup there by Sawyer Gilmore. And so Josh Woodward has turned getting hit by the pitch into a triple. 2 stolen bases, 2-0 the count to Scotty Corcoran. And let's see if Travis Henderson can get out of the jam here. 2-0 pitch, that's going to be in for a strike, and the count 2-1. So runner on third base, 1 out, top of the first inning. We're playing 7 innings here today. And the 2-1 pitch is low and outside, and the count 3-1. I'm not certain. This field does have lights, so it'll be interesting to see here if, since this is a championship game, there's no time limit. So if this game goes long in the tooth, and that pitch is hit high into the air into left center field, and it's going to drop and roll towards the wall. The center fielder, Kevin Gottschalk, will retrieve it and fire it into the infield. Scoring on the play is Josh Woodward on a double by Scotty Corcoran. So 1-0 here in favor of the White Sox, and there's only one out.
Number 10, Nick Stanitsas.
So the catcher, Nick Stanitsas, number 10, will step in for the White Sox. A little bluff throw there to second base, and Corcoran gets back. On that last play, the center fielder, Kevin Gottschalk, he really tried to get to that ball. It just carried and carried, swing and a foul at the plate, and so the runner will have to go back. He and the left fielder, Sawyer Gilmore, both converging there on that ball. And that ball was drilled. This isn't a short field for this age group. It's 330, or a little bit more, about 335 to dead center field here. So there's a lot of running room out there. The next pitch is fouled away. So Travis Henderson working up there in the first inning. And that pitch is in the dirt. Holding at second base is Corcoran. In the count 1-2. On deck is Keith Brody, the third baseman. Second baseman there, Ian Jason, covering the bag now, goes back to his position, and that ball is bounced over to third. Nice play. And across the infield. Nice job by the third baseman, Anthony Zaki, as he scooped that one up. That's the second out of the inning.
Third baseman, number 8, Keith Brody.
Here's Keith Brody now. Over to third base goes Corcoran. So Keith Brody up now with 2 outs. He's the third baseman for the White Sox. And he's got a runner at third base, so you know the White Sox would love to pick that runner up before they're retired here in the top of the first inning. And the first pitch is high, 1-0. J.T. Brown, the first baseman on the on-deck circle. And Travis's pitch is lined into center field. What a shot. Coming in to score will be Corcoran on a line single to center field by Keith Brody.
Now batting for the White Sox, first baseman,
So that ball right over the meat of the plate.
Brown.
And here's J.T. Brown. Remember, there's 2 outs. Brown, the first baseman for the White Sox. That pitch is high. The throw down to second base is not in time. And a stolen base for Keith Brody. The third stolen base here in the inning. 2 stolen bases by Josh Woodward. He came around to score. And now the stolen base, Keith Brody, from first to second. So let's see now if J.T. Brown can pick up the runner in scoring position. 2-0 the count. That pitch just a little bit high. Corey Denharder, the pitcher for the White Sox, he's on deck. And Henderson's pitch is fouled straight up into the cage. And the count 2-1. So 2 runs across here in the top of the first inning for the White Sox. All started when Josh Woodward was hit by the pitch with just the second pitch of the game. Remember, the first pitch of the game was a chopper over to Travis Henderson, the pitcher. Came off the mound, and Michael Barr, first pitch swinging, just grounded out to him. And then the next pitch was the hit batter. There goes the runner to third. The throw down is not in time. And so the stolen base for Brody.
Now batting for the White Sox,
And actually on that stolen base, it was ball 4. And so J.T. Brown over to first base. So runners on the corners, 2 outs. And Corey Denharder. There goes the runner from first to second, and he's not going to draw a throw as they want to keep the ball near the plate as you have the runner on third base. So Henderson would like to get out of this inning without giving up any more runs. 2 have crossed already and 2 runners in scoring position. And that pitch is lined over to the shortstop, number 4, Taylor Madigan. So Madigan with the nice play. And that'll do it for the White Sox here in the top of the first inning. They get 2 runs. They strand 2 runners. We go to the bottom of the first, 2-0 White Sox. We're back here, bottom of the first inning. Kenny Gonzalez, George Langevin Productions. Defensively for the White Sox, first baseman is J.T. Brown, number 9. The second baseman, Mitch Bilodeau, he's number 4. Third baseman, Keith Brody, number 8. We skipped the shortstop there. That's Josh Woodward, number 7. In left field, Michael Barr, number 3. In center field, Scotty Corcoran, number 11. And in right field, Darrell Day, number 2. The catcher is Nick Stanitsas, number 10. And the pitcher is Corey Denharder. He's number 1. And stepping into the box is Taylor Madigan, the shortstop for the Mets. So the Mets trail here in their first at-bat in the bottom of the first, 2-0 as the White Sox jumped up on top here. Roughing up Travis Henderson in that top half. Nothing cheap. Some very hard hit balls. And those stolen bases, 4 stolen bases in that inning. Denharder's pitch is low, so the count is 2-0 to Taylor Madigan. And Travis Henderson, the pitcher, is on deck. 2-0 pitch is outside, and the count 3-0. So it'd be very key here for the Mets to get the leadoff man on base. And the 3-0 pitch is low and inside, so a 4-pitch walk by Denharder. Sure, that's not what Corey had in mind when he trotted out there to start the bottom of the first with a 2-run lead. And here is Travis Henderson, the pitcher. Left-hand batter. So Denharder looking in for the sign. And that pitch is outside, and the count 1-0 to Travis Henderson. Nice day here. Just off of Scripps Poway Parkway. Up on the bluff, if you will. The road down below. Nice soccer fields behind us. And a rarity here in San Diego, the lights on the field. There goes the runner, the pitch, or the throw down to second base. The pitch was outside, the throw down not in time. Stolen base for Taylor Madigan. So Travis Henderson now at the plate with a runner in scoring position. That pitch is foul back. On deck, Ian Jason, the second baseman for the Mets. Nice lead taken at second base by Madigan. And Denharder, Corey Denharder, bluffing him back. The shortstop, Josh Woodward, holding him on the bag there at second. And that pitch is hit into the air to center field, moving underneath it. Number 11, he's camped. Scotty Corcoran, And a nice throw back into the infield. And Taylor Madigan has to stay at second base. So 1 out. And here's Ian Jason. So a nice play by the center fielder, Scotty Corcoran, camping underneath that ball and then putting himself in a nice position to throw it back into the third baseman. Throw over to second base, and Madigan gets back. And that time it was the second baseman, number 4, Mitch Bilodeau, taking the throw, and Bilodeau now creeping in towards the bag. And with all the stolen bases we've already seen here, 4 in the top of the first, 1 here in the bottom of the first, you're going to see the fielders trying to hold the runners on at second base. That pitch on the outside corner for a strike. And I'm a little surprised here that Madigan hasn't attempted to steal third base. He's getting some really good jumps. And there he goes. They're going to step off the mound to throw. They're going to get him in a rundown. Third baseman back to second. And let's see, can't get the tag. He's going to have to throw it in, and they are going to tag him there. Number 9, J.T. Brown, the first baseman, comes over to help out. And so they're going to pick off Taylor Madigan. And that's 2 outs. Ian Jason's still up there. And shows you how much I know. I was just saying that Taylor Madigan should attempt to steal third, but he took off a little too soon there before the ball was released, and all Corey Denherter had to do was step off, and that's exactly what he did. Ian Jason will pop this one up over to the second baseman, number 4, Mitch Bilodeau, and that'll do it. So the Mets actually go down 1, 2, 3. And at the end of an inning of play, it's the White Sox 2 and the Mets nothing. And we're back here, the start of the second inning. Darrell Day, the right fielder for the White Sox, will lead things off against Henderson. Big swing and a foul at the plate, and the count 0-1. Mitch Bilodeau, the second baseman, is on deck. Henderson again working out of the stretch. And that pitch is bounced over to the third baseman. Nice throw to first. That's another good play. Anthony Zaki, number 5, the third baseman for the Mets. That's 2 really good plays he's made on some sharp hit balls down the third baseline. Just stays in front and fires it across the infield. So 1 away. And here's Mitch Bilodeau. Big swing and a miss. 0-1. And, you know, watching these kids play the first inning there, there's some skill out there. There's not going to be a lot of errors here today. So, I think we got the first inning jitters out of the way, and we'll probably settle down now and see some very quick innings. Breaking ball, swing, and a miss. And the count 0-2. Big ol' looping curve there. So 0-2 the count. And that pitch is low. So 1-2, kind of a waste pitch there, seeing if Bilodeau would chase after it. And it was a very warm day here in San Diego, but I tell you, the last 20 minutes or so, the temperature's gone down, got a little bit of a breeze. It's very nice out here. And the 1-2 pitch is bounced over to third base again. Zaki up with it, fires across the infield. And boy, the Mets sure have a solid third baseman over there, Anthony Zaki. 2 away in the inning, and here's Mike Bernardi.
Now batting for the White Sox, number 6, Mike Bernardi.
So the next three batters actually for the White Sox are just batters. They're not playing in the field. And that pitch bounced foul up the first baseline in the count 0-1. One thing they're doing here in the Junior World Series, their first inaugural, or their inaugural, you can't have a first inaugural because you only have the inaugural. So the inaugural World Series is that everybody's going to bat here today. David McCormack is on deck. Swing and a miss. So the count 1-2 to Bernardi. And that's got to be a little tough there. You know, if this was the home field for this league, and these teams are probably used to it, but that mound, that movable, mobile mound has got such a drop-off there behind, and that pitch just misses low and outside, evens it up at 2-2. Pitchers have to be a little careful. You know, little bloopers hit over their head. Normally you got the dirt mound, you just kind of run back, but that's a steep fall off there. And the 2-2 pitch hit in the air to center field, and right there, number 7, Kevin Gottschalk with the catch. So a 1-2-3 inning here for Travis Henderson and the Mets. We go to the bottom of the second inning, still 2-0 White Sox. Well, we've moved into the bottom of the second inning, and here he is, the third baseman, Anthony Zaki, leading things off for the Mets. Zaki, Gottschalk, and Peters. And that pitch is hit into the air to center field. It's going to fall in for a base hit. So Zaki, first pitch swinging, singles to center field. And here is Kevin Gottschalk, the center fielder for the Mets. So the Mets started off the bottom of the first inning getting the leadoff man aboard. The walk to Taylor Madigan. And let's see if they can move Anthony Zaki around here in the bottom of the second. Stepping off the mound, Corey Denherter. And Zaki scrambles back to the bag. Pitch is high, fake throw over to first. 1-0 the count. Daniel Peters, the catcher on deck. Then you've got Jared Clark, the first baseman. Corey's next pitch is on the inside corner. Count now a ball and a strike to Gottschalk. Nick Stanitsas, the catcher for the White Sox, making a nice target there on the inside part of the plate. Next pitch, swung on and missed. So a ball and 2 strikes. Took something off of that one. And way out in front was Kevin Gottschalk. See if they waste a pitch here. You see Stanitsas kind of half standing up. That pitch is on the inside corner, just a little too inside. And you see there was the catcher, Stanitsas, acted like they wanted to pitch up high, and they actually came very close to a called strike right there. 2-2 the count. And let's see if Zaki is on the move. Pitch is grounded, just foul down the third base line, and the count remains 2-2. So Zaki back to first. Just foul. Keith Brody, the third baseman over there for the White Sox. Big swing and a miss, and down he goes. So nice job of pitching right there as Corey Denherter comes right back at him, and he gets the strikeout. First out of the inning, and here's Daniel Peters.
Daniel Peters.
So here's Peters, and stepping off, Corey Dan Herter looking Zachy back to first. The pitch to Peters is inside, 1-0. Time is called as Nick Stanitsas, the catcher, wants to come out and talk to his pitcher. They might have gotten a signal mixed up, or maybe setting up some sort of a pickoff play to first base. Pitch is low and outside. The throw down to second, not in time. Stolen base for Anthony Zachy. 2-0 to Daniel Peters. Corey comes set, and the pitch is lined over to the shortstop. Nice play by number 7, Josh Woodward. Robbing a hit from Daniel Peters, second out of the inning. And here's Jared Clark.
Now batting for the Mets. Number 10, Jared Clark.
So Anthony Zachy lucky on that play there that the second baseman didn't come over to cover the bag. Kevin Callahan. Actually, I say didn't come over. He was actually moving that way, but the ball hit so fast that Callahan couldn't get over there in time. So that pitch was low, and the count 1-0 to Jared Clark. On deck is Sawyer Gilmore. Coming off the mound and faking a throw to second. Josh Woodward trying to sneak up behind him there. A 1-0 pitch. That's over for a strike. Evens it up on a ball and a strike. Zachy takes his lead from second. The 1-1 pitch swung on and missed. And the count is 1-2 now to Jared Clark. There's 2 outs. Bottom of the second inning, 2-0 White Sox. And the 1-2 pitch outside. And the count now to Clark, 2-2. As we said, Sawyer Gilmore on deck. Left fielder for the Mets. Dan Herter set, and the 2-2 pitch is low and away. Count is now full, 3-2. So let's see if Zachy is on the move here. And the pitch is outside. And so a walk issue to Jared Clark. And there's runners at first and second with 2 outs here for the Mets. And Sawyer Gilmore, the left fielder, will step in. Marvin Ordonez would be next if Gilmore can keep the inning going. And that pitch is popped up on the infield towards third. And it's a shortstop coming over. Woodward, Josh Woodward, to make the catch. So the Mets are going to strand a couple of runners here in the bottom of the second inning. They don't score. And as we head to the third, it's 2-0 White Sox. Ken Gonzalez for George Langevin Productions. Top of the third inning. And David McCormick will lead things off here for the White Sox. Bounces Or actually does a little jig there, gets out of the way of that ball in the dirt. And the count 1-0. Kevin Callahan is on deck. 1-0 pitch, outside, 2-0. So Travis Henderson still on the mound. And the 2-0 pitch outside, 3-0. So the White Sox with 2 runs in the first inning, and we're here in the third. Same score, 2-0. 3-0 pitch at the knees on the outside corner, 3-1. Today, the 16th of June, 2007. And the 3-1 pitch over for a strike, and the count now full to David McCormack, 3-2. So let's see if Travis Henderson can come all the way back and punch him out here. Swing and a miss, and down he goes. So he comes back 3-0 to strike him out. First out of the inning, and here's Kevin Callahan. First pitch swing, bounces that one over to first base, and number 10, Jared Clark, picks it up, takes it to the bag himself, and just like that, there are 2 away. So here's Michael Barr, the leadoff batter for the White Sox. Remember, he was first pitch swinging, first pitch of the game, and bounced it right back to Travis Henderson, and Henderson threw him out at first. So let's see if Barr goes deeper into the count here this time, or is just as aggressive and swings at the first pitch, and that's what he does, and bounces it over to first. This time the pitcher covers. Henderson makes the catch on the bag in time. So nice play by the first baseman, Jared Clark, and the throw over to Travis Henderson. So a real quick inning there. And as we head to the bottom of the third inning, it's still 2-0 White Sox over the Mets. Well, here come the Mets. Their third at-bats here. Bottom of the third inning, they trail 2-0. And here's Marvin Ordonez, number 1. Big swing and a miss, and the count 0-1. On deck, David Flicker and then Josh Master. Flicker is the right fielder. Ordonez not playing in the field, just batting here. And he'll take that pitch inside, evens it up 1-1. One pitch is lined off the glove of Corey Denherter. Recovers and throws over to first base in time, and there's 1 away. So 1 out, and here's David Flicker. J.T. Brown, the first baseman for the White Sox. Pitch is fouled back. 0-1 the count. And as I said, Josh Master is on deck. And then we start over with the top of the order, Taylor Madigan. Foul at the plate. And so the count 0-2 to David. The sun starting to go down here. And it would be going down behind the right field line. In the corner, if you would. You can imagine that. Pitch is bounced over to third base and off his glove and into left field. So Number 8, Keith Brody, tries the attempt there, but that ball just a little too hot to handle. And so a one-out single here for David Flicker. And here's Josh Master. So Josh Master, left-hand batter. And Denherter tries to keep the ball away from him. And that pitch just outside, and the count 1-0. On deck, Taylor Madigan. Taylor walked, stole a base, and then was picked off between second and third in the first inning. 1-0 pitch, low and outside, 2-0. So the White Sox up 2-0, and the head coach, Scott Corcoran's got to be happy. I guess you'd call him the manager here in baseball. His assistant coaches, Rich Woodward, John Brown, and Steve McCormick. And that pitch over for a strike. So David Flicker over at first base. Corey Denherter looks in for the sign, comes set, and the pitch. Low and inside, and that is ball 4. So Master with the base on balls over to second base goes David Flicker. And here's Taylor Madigan. So a big opportunity for the Mets here. There's one out, bottom of the third. They trail 2-0. The tying runs are on base. Nice pitch over for a strike, 0-1. Travis Henderson, the Met pitcher, is on deck. Oh, 1 pitch outside, a ball and a strike. And the 1-1 pitch is up, 2-1. Runners not going anywhere. Remember that first inning, everyone was running rampant. All those stolen bases, but nobody taking that chance right now. 2-1 pitch is a ball. So the count now 3-1, and the White Sox want to talk this over. So 3-1 is the count to the batter, Taylor Madigan. So in the middle of the at-bat here, we've got a pitching change for the White Sox. Number 7, Josh Woodward, moves from shortstop to pitcher. And moving from pitcher to shortstop is number 1, Corey Denherter. So with the count 3-1, the White Sox go ahead and make the pitching change. All right, we're back. So after the pitching change here, first and second, 3-1 the count to Taylor Madigan. And Josh Woodward's pitch is swung on a hit into the air. Center fielder and left fielder coming over, and they nearly collide, and it's the center fielder, number 11, Scotty Corcoran, taking charge and making the catch. So that could have been disastrous there for the White Sox if those two would have collided and nobody caught the ball. So 2 away, runners at first and second, and pitcher Travis Henderson trying to help himself out here. He flied out to center field in the first inning. Corey Denherter now at the bag at second base, and that pitch is bounced over to the second baseman. Bobbles the ball, and he can't recover. Kevin Callahan for the White Sox knocked it down, but he couldn't pick it up again. And so the bases are loaded. 2 outs. And Ian Jason, the second baseman, is up. Ian Jason popped up to the first baseman. J.T. Brown in the first inning. So you now have the tying runs in scoring position. And the tying run, number 6, Josh Master at second base. And that pitch is drilled into left field, coming over the left fielder. Can't get it, it's over his head. And that ball is going to continue to roll all the way to the wall, picking it up to center fielder Scotty Corcoran. But by that time, the bases are cleared. A 3-run double by Ian Jason. And the Mets have taken a 3-2 lead here in the third inning over the White Sox. And that ball was just drilled by Ian Jason, the first pitch by Josh Woodward to Ian. And he just drilled it right over the outstretched arm of the left fielder, Michael Barr. And so 3-2, the Mets have jumped on top. And here is Anthony Zaki, the third baseman. And there's Ian Jason at second base, number 12, with that 3-run double. And that pitch is hit into the air to center field. Coming up is Corcoran, makes a diving catch. What a save. He prevents a run right there. And boy, Corcoran all over the place here today. So he makes the put out there, the third out of the inning. But the Mets come from off the mat here in the bottom of the third inning. A 3-run double by Ian Jason, a clutch hit. And the Mets now lead after 3-2. Ken Gonzalez, George Langevin Productions. We'll be back to the Juniors World Series in just a second. Well, now the White Sox leading things off top of the fourth inning. They trail 3-2. And Travis Henderson with a new life up there on the mound. He gave up those 2 first-inning runs, but Ian Jason, his second baseman, got them all back and then some with that bases-clearing, bases-loaded double, driving in 3 runs. So Josh Woodward at the plate there. That pitch a little bit high. That pitch in there for a strike. Nice pitch by Henderson. Scotty Corcoran, the center fielder, is on deck. That pitch foul back. Woodward was hit by the pitch in the first inning, stole 2 bases, came around to score. And that pitch is popped up towards third base in foul ground and out of play. And so Woodward's still alive. Henderson's next pitch is hit into the air and out of play again. So 3 straight in a row fouled off here by Josh Woodward. Next pitch is low and outside. Corcoran waiting his turn on deck. And the pitch is lined foul down the third baseline. So Josh Woodward with a tough at-bat right now. He's fouled 4 off. Travis Henderson doesn't waste any time. He's ready to go. And the pitch is going to be behind Woodward, and that's ball 4. So a leadoff walk here for Josh Woodward. And here is Scotty Corcoran. Corcoran doubled in the first inning, came around to score. He also drove in Woodward with the first run of the game. So Woodward on base, nobody out. 3-2 Mets here in the top of the 4th inning. There goes Woodward. The pitch is a strike. The throw down to second is not in time. So another stolen base for Woodward, his 3rd of the game. So a runner in scoring position, the tying run in scoring position, and Travis Henderson going to have to be very careful the way he pitches to Scotty Corcoran. Big swing and a miss, and he goes right at him. Oh, and 2 the count. Henderson comes set, checks the runner, goes to the plate, and that pitch is hit on the ground just past the shortstop into center field. The throw to third is not in time. They nearly caught Woodward as he got a late jump there. As the shortstop for the Mets, number 4, Taylor Madigan, nearly made the play. So the single for Corcoran. And there are runners at first and third with nobody out, and Nick Stanitsas. So the catcher, and Nick was put out third to first. Pitches in there for a strike, and stealing second base is Corcoran. So runners at second and third for Nick Stanitsas. Nobody out. The go-ahead run now at second base. Henderson's pitch is just inside. Keith Brody, the third baseman, is on deck. That pitch is in there for a strike. So 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Nick Stanitsas, the catcher for the White Sox. He's got runners at second and third. Nobody out. The pitch swung on and lined into left field. And that's going to get between both fielders and roll to the wall. 2 runs are going to score. Stanitsas into second base as number 2. The left fielder, Sawyer Gilmore, gets the ball back into the infield. And so just like that, the White Sox now have taken a 4-3 lead over the Mets. And there still is nobody out in the inning. So Woodward and Corcoran coming around to score. It's 4-3 White Sox, and here's Keith Brody. And Stanitsas trying to take third, and he's going to make it without a play. The 3rd stolen base of the inning. In fact, every person who's gotten on board for the White Sox, Woodward, Corcoran, and now Stanitsas, all with a stolen base. And that pitch is grounded over to shortstop. Checks the runner at third, goes across in time. The throw to the plate is in time for the double play. Nice play there by the catcher for the Mets, Daniel Peters. In fact, 3 great plays. The shortstop, Madigan, coming up with the ball, firing it across to the first baseman, Jared Clark, and then Jared Clark quickly, not even thinking, fires it down to his catcher Peters for the double play. So 2 outs. Stanitsas out at the plate. And so nobody on, 2 out. And here's J.T. Brown, the first baseman. Takes a ball 1-0. So 2 runs have already scored here in the inning, and it could have been a lot worse. But for that great double play right there. And that pitch hit into the air center field, moving over the right fielder and the center fielder, and it's the center fielder taking charge. And that was Sawyer Gilmore. And actually, Sawyer Gilmore has moved from left field over to center field. And number 1, Marvin Ordonez, was placed into left field there in that inning. So that's a change for us right there. 2 runs across the plate for the White Sox in the 4th inning. Could have been worse. We go to the bottom of the 4th. It's 4-3. White Sox over the Mets. And we're back here, bottom of the 4th inning, and in right field now for the White Sox. Number 14, Kevin Callahan, and at second base is number 2, Darrell Day. David McCormick, number 5, is at first base now. So some changes for the White Sox. And see if we have any more changes. That pitch is a ball, 1-0. Looks like the third baseman. Let's see here. Number 8, no, that's Keith Brody. So that's the only, we got the changes. Woodward's pitch, and that ball has bounced just past the shortstop and into left field. So a leadoff single here as Michael Barr gets it back into play. Leadoff single for Kevin Gottschalk. And that'll bring up Daniel Peters, the catcher. Peters lined out to left field. His first time up. Wanted to chase after that one. And he should have, as it's in there for strike 0-1. On deck, Jared Clark. To first base goes Woodward, and diving back is Kevin Gottschalk. And off the rubber again is Woodward. Temperature's really dropping out here now, and the wind picking up, getting a little cool. And let's see, time is called as so Peters in the right-hand batter's box. Woodward's pitch. Swing and a miss. Breaking ball there. And the count now is 0-2 to Peters. Jared Clark, the first baseman, is on deck. Nobody out, a runner on first. Bottom of the 4th inning, 4-3 White Sox over the Mets. So Josh Woodward paying a lot of attention to Kevin Gottschalk there at first base. He's the tying run. There he goes, a pitch in the dirt. And that's going to be a stolen base for Kevin. And so Peters now with the runner in scoring position, the tying run. Nobody out. Jared Clark, as we said, is on deck. Long at bat here for Peters. So we had the timeout called, little conference at the mound, and Woodward goes over to first base or fakes going over to first base a couple of times. Now he's off the rubber, looking Gottschalk back to second base. So a lot going on out there right now. And that pitch is swung on and missed in the dirt. They're going to have to throw him out at first, and they do. Holding at second base is Kevin Gottschalk. So Peters strikes out. First out of the inning. And here is Clark. Sawyer Gilmore now on deck. They're going to throw over very close. Kevin is back. Here comes a pitch, and it's fouled back. 0-1 the count. So 0-1 now. Woodward checking the runner at second base. Gottschalk doesn't go, and the pitch is high. So Clark, it looks like he's going to really work the pitcher there right now. And the pitch is swung on and missed. Nice swing there. Clark going for the fence. Woodward just challenging him there. Woodward checking the runner at second. Comes set. And the pitch is going to be in the dirt to the backstop. Over to third base will go Kevin Gottschalk. So he winds his way down there anyway. A wild pitch. And so the tying run is at third base. And the pitch goes to the backstop again. Another ball. That's ball 3. And so Woodward running into some trouble laboring out there. Can't seem to find the plate. He's got one out. The tying run at third. And the pitch to Clark is high, ball 4. And so runners on the corners with one out. And on the first pitch to Sawyer Gilmore, stealing second base is Jared Clark. So runners at second and third with one out. And Gilmore with a chance now to put his team in the lead. He's going to hit that one down the right field line. Foul. Gilmore popped up to the shortstop for the third out of the inning in the second. The White Sox still with that 4-3 lead, but runners at second and third for the Mets. Woodward's pitch. In there. Strike 3 called. So Gilmore goes down on strikes. Goes down looking. That's the second out of the inning, and here is Marvin Ordonez. And so the Mets had a runner at third base with one out. They had runners at second and third with one out, and now those same two runners are at second and third with 2 outs. Ordonez with a swing and a miss, 0-1. And it would be something if Woodward could get out of this jam and have his team keep the lead here at 4-3 going into the 5th inning. Swing and a miss, and so Ordonez now in the hole 0-2. Ordonez bounced out pitcher to first in the 3rd inning. The 0-2 pitch is high, 1-2. And Woodward's 1-2 pitch is high again, and so Ordonez working him, 2-2. David Flicker, the right fielder for the Mets, is on deck. And time called. All right, we're set. 2-2 to Ordonez. Second and third, 2 outs. 4-3 White Sox. Here's Woodward's pitch. And actually, that was a 3-2 count, and that's ball 4. So the bases are loaded for David Flicker. Flicker singled to left field and scored a run in the third inning.
Pinch runner at first base, I think.
And, well, I thought it was right. That was ball 3. That wasn't a walk to Ordonez. I thought that was what it was. I thought that ball made it ball 3. So 3-2 the count to Ordonez. Second and third, 2 outs, and the lights are coming on here on the field. Here's the Woodward's pitch. Just outside, ball 4. So he gets the walk anyway, so the bases are loaded, 2 outs. And here's David Flicker. And Woodward's pitch to Flicker is upstairs, 1-0. So for everything that has happened here in the bottom of the 4th inning, no runners have crossed the plate yet. 2 outs, bases loaded. 1-0 to Flicker. Josh Master is on deck. Woodward's 1-0 pitch. High and away, 2-0. And if he's not careful, he's got nowhere to put him. He could walk in a run here. And the 2-0 pitch on the outside corner, 2-1 to Flicker. So David up there. Woodward's 2-1 pitch swung on and fouled straight up into the cage, and the count is even now, 2-2. And what a feat this would be for as much as Woodward has worked up there on the mound here in the inning to come away without giving up a run. That could happen, or 3 runs could score here on the next pitch. You never know. And that pitch is on the outside corner. Strike 3 called, and that'll do it for the Mets. Here in the bottom of the 4th inning, they're going to strand 3, so they leave the bases loaded. And we go to the 5th inning. It's the White Sox 4 and the Mets 3. Ken Gonzalez for George Langevin Productions. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Well, the lights are starting to take effect here at Thurgood Marshall Elementary. Or is it middle school? I know it's Thurgood Marshall. And we've made it here to the top of the 5th inning. And it's Corey Denharder. Anthony Zaki, number 5, the third baseman, is now pitching for the Mets. And so let's see who's over at third. And it does look like it is Travis Henderson over at third base. So an easy switch there. And also playing second base for the Mets is Ian Jason, who was a second baseman. So just looking around to see if there's any more changes. David Flicker's in right. Got Schalk in center. So that looks to be the only change here. Ordonez is still over there in left field. That pitch over for a strike. Denharder lined out to the shortstop in the first inning. That was the third out of the inning. Zacky's pitch in there for a strike, second strike. So now Corey Denharder really has to protect himself. And that pitch hit in a right field, right to number 3, David Flicker. And he makes a nice play right there. So Denharder flies out to start the inning. And here is Darrell Day. Darrell Day was in right field and then moved over to second base. And that pitch hit into the air to left center field. Ordonez underneath it. He's got it. So 2 flyouts here to start the inning. 2 outs. And here is Mitch Bilodeau. So here's Bilodeau. He grounded out to third in the second inning. And that was one of those 2 good plays, great plays, I should say, made by Anthony Zacky when he was over at third. Pitch is low. And this will be the last half inning where the sun will be any sort of a factor, going down behind the homes, behind the right field line. That pitch over for a strike. Right field and now creeping into center field in the shadows. And that pitch is popped up on the infield. First baseman, second baseman, it's going to drop and actually roll into the hands of the right fielder, Flicker. So the second baseman, number 12, Ian Jason, might have lost that one. Looked like he was camping out beneath it, but it just bounced in front of him. And so 2 outs and a runner on first, Bilodeau. And here's Mike Bernardi, and that's going to be a base hit, I would say. The steal attempt, throw down to second, not in time. A stolen base for Mitch Bilodeau. So now a big opportunity for Mike Bernardi here to drive in another run and put the White Sox up by 2. They lead 4-3 right now. That pitch on the outside corner for a strike. And that pitch is grounded over to third base. Nice play by Henderson, and he tags the runner coming right at him. Nice play. He realized it was going to be a tough play to throw across the diamond to get the runner, so he just tags Bilodeau coming over, and that'll do it for the White Sox here in the 5th inning. They don't score. We go to the bottom of the 5th. It's 4-3, White Sox over the Mets. And the first pitch of the bottom of the 5th inning is in there for a strike. 0-1. Josh Master walked and scored a run in the 3rd inning. 0-1 pitch on the corner, 0-2. Woodward still on the mound here for the White Sox. And the 0-2 pitch on the outside corner, strike 3, gets away from the catcher. He recovers and throws down to first in time. Nick Stanitsas, catcher for the White Sox. So 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And Taylor Madigan, the leadoff batter, is up. So Madigan walked in the first and flied out to center field in the third. And that pitch in there for a strike. And it really looks like Josh Woodward is really finding his groove right now. Just strike after strike. And that pitch is hit into the air to right field. And it's going to drop fair. And so a single. Oh, they nearly get him going back into first base, but he's safe. So Madigan with a single to right field. And with one out, a runner on first, here's Travis Henderson. Henderson was the starting pitcher, moved over to third base. And now just about everything but left field is in the shadows here. So Henderson, the left-hand batter, he's 0 for 2, pick off over to first base, and that's going to hit the first baseman. And I don't believe he knew that was coming, and so we're going to have a little injury timeout right here as Woodward went over to first base, and kind of a freak accident there, so we'll take a quick timeout. And we're back. J.T. Brown now replacing McCormick at first base. So one out, one on. Henderson at the plate. There goes the runner. It's a pitch out. The throw down to second is not in time. And it goes into center field, and on his way to third is number 4, Taylor Madigan. So Madigan steals second, goes to third on the error. And with one out, the tying run is at third base for the Mets. Throw over to third base, and Madigan gets back. Feels like winter out here, very cold. Once that sun dipped down behind the little mountains, or hills, no mountains in San Diego. Here's the pitch, outside. Ian Jason, the second baseman, is on deck. Remember, Ian in the third inning had that bases loaded double, driving in 3 runs for the Mets. Woodward's pitch is fouled away. Two and one the count to Travis Henderson. Madigan with his lead from third. The 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Henderson 0 for 2, reached base on an error in the third and scored on that double by Ian Jason. Another throw to third, and again, Taylor Madigan gets back. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss, and down he goes. So he gets the strikeout on Henderson. That's the second out of the inning. And here is Ian Jason. And a time now as the White Sox. I think what they're going to do is walk. Let's see here. They've changed pitchers. And the first baseman, J.T. Brown, will move to the mound. And so as he warms up, we'll take a break. So JT Brown is ready. The pitching change. And Ian Jason stands in. The tying run at third base. 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. 0-1. Jason 1 for 2. 3 runs batted in. Brown's 0-1 pitch. Bounces in front of the plate, but not far enough. And Taylor Madigan stays at third. So the count is 1-1 to Ian Jason. So after this inning, we'll have 2 more. Bottom of the 5th. One pitch on the outside corner. And so Ian Jason in the hole now, 1-2. And let's see if JT Brown goes right at him or wastes a pitch here. The 1-2 pitch. And that's on the outside corner. Beautiful pitch by number 9, JT Brown. And down goes Ian Jason looking. The 3rd out of the inning. And so Taylor Madigan is stranded over at third base. The Mets don't score. We go to the 6th. It's 4-3 White Sox. Here we are, Kevin Callahan now at bat. And McCormick should be the batter. But he was hurt. And so what technically should happen is when you're batting everybody and somebody gets hurt, whenever that position comes back in the lineup, it's an out. It's an automatic out. And so now they're going to sort it out. We don't know if there's an out. Kevin Callahan leading it off. And we're not sure, though, if they made an out in McCormick's spot because he was supposed to lead off the inning. So we'll just have to find out as we go. And the first pitch in there for a strike. And I would say since this is a friendly little championship game here, they might just let it go. Pitch outside, 1-1. On deck is Michael Barr and then Josh Woodward. And that pitch is high. So Anthony Zaki, his 2nd inning of work here on the mound for the Mets. And that pitch in the dirt. So Callahan digs in. Zaki's pitch is in the dirt, ball 4. So a leadoff walk to Kevin Callahan. And here's Michael Barr. So Michael Barr will step in. 4-3. White Sox over the Mets here in the top of the 6th. And let's see, head coach Michael Henderson of the Mets. He's got any tricks up his sleeve to try to get his offense moving here and score some runs. And that pitch is hit into center, right to the center fielder, number 2, Sawyer Gilmore. So a nice play by Sawyer. And here's Josh Woodward. Sandy Madigan and Charlie Prokop, the assistant coaches for Michael Henderson on the Mets squad. So Callahan being held on at first. And here's Josh Woodward. Here's the pitch. That's a strike. 0-1. Woodward was hit by the pitch and scored a run, stole 2 bases in the first inning. Walked, stole a base, and scored a run in the fourth. Pitches a ball throw over to first base, and Callahan gets back. 1-1 the count. Scotty Corcoran is on deck. And that pitch is drilled down the left field line. It's a fair ball. Ordonez will get it back into the infield, and so runners at first and second with 1 out. A line drive single to left field for Woodward. And here is Scotty Corcoran with runners at first and second, 1 out. Corcoran today doubled in the first, singled in the fourth, scored a couple of runs, driven in a run. Big old curveball, stays high, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch, swung on and drilled into left field. Ordonez can't get it, it's over his head. That's going to keep going. Callahan getting to third base, and he's going to keep going. Here's the cutoff. The throw to the plate is going to be in time to get Callahan. Nice relay by the shortstop, number 4, Taylor Madigan. Callahan was really huffing and puffing around third base. And so he is out at the plate. That's the second out of the inning. Over to second base is Scotty Corcoran, and at third is Josh Woodward. So Anthony Zaki almost out of the jam, but he's got runners at second and third before he pitches here. That pitch is hit into center field. It's going to drop. 2 runs are going to score. And they're going to get him out at first. Number 10, the catcher, Stanitsas, with the base hit. He's going to drive in 2 runs. He gets a little bit greedy there, trying to hit second base, turns around, goes back to first, and they're going to tag him out, but those 2 runs scored before that. So 2 runs here at the top of the 6th inning for the White Sox, and they now lead the Mets 6-3 as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Anthony Zaki will lead things off for the Mets here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And the first pitch by J.T. Brown is low, 1-0. Zaki 1 for 2 so far, singled and stole a base in the second, flied out to center in the third. 1-0 pitch in there for a strike, 1-1. On deck is Kevin Gottschalk and then Daniel Peters. So that pitch is low. The count now 2-1. And Brown's 2-1 pitch is low. And the count 3-1. So the 3-1 to Zaki is in there for a strike, and the count is 3-2. So full count to Anthony Zaki. He thought that was ball 4, but it was right there at the knees. J.T. Brown comes set, and the 3-2 pitch swung on and missed, and down goes Anthony Zaki. So 1 out. And Kevin Gottschalk. Kevin is 1 for 2. He struck out in the second inning. He singled to center field in the fourth, stole second, went to third on a wild pitch, and was stranded there. And that pitch is going to be bounced over to shortstop Woodward. Can't come up with it. Finally gets it under control, fires to first, but not in time. So Gottschalk is aboard. And they'll probably score that one an error. So runner at first, Daniel Peters, and that ball is fouled back. 0-1. Gottschalk with his lead from first, and stepping off the rubber is Brown, and Gottschalk goes diving back into first. Peters 0 for 2 on the day, struck out and lined out to left. Throw to first, not in time. Pitch fouled at the plate. 0-2 to Peters, and in right field now for the White Sox is Mike Bernardi, number 6. And again, J.T. Brown goes over to first base. We're here with 1 out, bottom of the 6th inning, 6-3 White Sox over the Mets. The pitch hit into the air to right field. Bernardi coming over, and he can't get it. It's going to bounce away from him. It's a fair ball, and there's runners at first and second. So a single for Peters. So first and second with 1 out, and here's Jared Clark, the first baseman. Brown's pitch to Clark is bounced right back to Brown, but it goes foul. Actually bounced up the third baseline. Brown was running over to try to make a play on it, but it was foul. 0-1. Jared Clark today walked in the second inning, walked in the fourth, stole second, and was stranded there. And he finds himself with runners at first and second now. Count 0-1. J.T. Brown looks the runner back at second there. Nothing going on, though. And that pitch is low. 1-1 to Jared Clark. And the 1-1 pitch is high, 2-1. Sawyer Gilmore is on deck. And that pitch is high, ball 3, 3-1. And Clark, who's already walked twice, a pitch away from walking for the third time here in the game. The 3-1 pitch is grounded into right field. 1 run is going to score, and there's going to be runners at first and third. And so a rally now for the Mets as it's 6-4. So Kevin Gutshaw comes around to score. Over to third base goes Daniel Peters. Jared Clark now at first, and here's Sawyer Gilmore. There's only one out. And the tying run is at first base. There goes the runner, and he's going to steal second base. So Clark with the stolen base. And there's runners at second and third, so the tying run in scoring position now. The pitch to Gilmore, and that's going to be chopped to the right side. The first baseman up with it, over to the second baseman covering in time. So a bang-bang play at first. One run scores at 6-5, and the tying run is at third base. So Peters scores, Clark over to third, Gilmore is out at first. Two outs, and here is Ordonez, Marvin Ordonez. Ordonez on the day walked his last time up in the fourth and bounced out to the pitcher in the third. So the tying run is at third base. Huge at bat here. Swing and a miss. Tried to check it. Couldn't do it. 0-1. Brown's 0-1 pitch is high. Evens it up 1-1. So the Mets just won't go away. They were down 2-0, took the lead 3-2. They were down 6-3, and now it's 6-5. And that ball is hit over to the second baseman, moving over. It makes a nice play, number 2, Darrell Day. And he saves the tying run. So Ordonez will line out to the second baseman for the third out. What an exciting game here. A lot of great plays. 2 runs will cross the plate here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And as we go to the 7th, it is 6-5, White Sox over the Mets. Well, we've made it to the 7th inning here of this World Series game. White Sox over the Mets 6-5. And leading it off is Keith Brody for the White Sox. Pitch in there for a strike. Anthony Zaki still on the mound for the Mets. And Brody has to jump out of the way of that one. It was a little inside. Two balls and one strike to Brody. Singled in the first, stole 2 bases, and hit into that strange double play in the fourth. That pitch in there for a strike, 2-2. Remember, that was the double play that went shortstop to first, and then they get the runner trying to score from third at home. JT Brown is on deck. Pitch is low, and the count is full now. 3-2 to Brody. Zaki's 3-2 pitch is hit down the right field line. Is it fair? Is it foul? It is foul. So we'll do it again, 3-2. So Zaki looks in for the sign. Now he deals the 3-2 pitch. Swung on and lined into right field. So a leadoff single here for Brody. as he just does get to first base. They try to throw it back into the infield before he can get to first, but it is a single. And here is J.T. Brown. Brown 0 for 1. He walked in the first and then didn't have another at-bat until the fourth inning when he flied out to center field. So Anthony Zaki working out of the stretch, and now he steps off. So J.T. Brown steps in. White Sox would sure love an insurance run here, heading into the bottom of the seventh. There goes the runner. The pitch is outside. The throw to second is going to be in time. Nice throw by the catcher, Daniel Peters, and they nail the runner. So Brody is thrown out trying to steal. 1 out. And Brown's still up there. Zaki's pitch is going to be grounded over to the first baseman. He's going to bobble the ball, and it's going to get away. And so an error there on the first baseman, Jared Clark. And J.T. Brown is at first base. And so that caught stealing looms large. And here is Corey Denharder. Corey lined out to shortstop in the first inning and flied out to right field in the fifth. Throw to first base, and Brown gets back. Cold night here, and I'm not sure the White Sox want their pitcher running the bases. There he goes, fouled away before he's got to go back and pitch in the bottom of the seventh. Oh, 0-1 to Denharder. So everyone's ready, and again a throw to first, and again Brown is back. After Denharder, Darrell Day is on deck. There's 1 out, a man on first. 6-5 White Sox over the Mets here, top of the seventh inning. And again a throw to first, and again Brown is back. He's not really going anywhere. That was a hit and run. It wasn't a steal. And he's not taking a huge lead off of first. And there he goes. It's a straight steal. This time the throw down to second is going to be, it was going to be in time. And Ian Jason just couldn't hold on to the ball. So the stolen base for Brown. And Denharder still at the plate. So 1-1 to Denharder. And Zaki's pitch is high, 2-1. So Brown in scoring position. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss. And the count is 2-2 now to Denharder. And Zaki's 2-2 pitch is high, ball 3. So another full count. We've had plenty of those today. And the 3-2 pitch is low, ball 4. So the runner going to third, and he's going to make it. So he delayed that steal, Brown did, and there's runners on the corners now with one out. And the batter is Darrell Day. Day 0 for 2. He grounded a third in the second and flied out to left field in the fifth. So Zachy is set, and he looks the runner at first base. So he's yet to throw a pitch to Darrell. And he shows bunt. It's a strike and over to second base. Goes Denharder. So runners at second and third. 0-1 the count today. And I can assure you now he'll probably be swinging away. The infield is in for the Mets. They want to cut off the run at the plate. And now time as the pitcher and catcher want to talk things over. Anthony Zachy and Daniel Peters. So a quick conference. Zachy climbs up on the mound. And that pitch is high. And it's 1-1 to Darrell. Mitch Bilodeau is on deck. And that pitch bounces up that gets away from Peters. The runners stay put, and it's 2-1. Zachy's 2-1 pitch, foul back, 2-2. One out, top of the seventh. Runners at second and third. And Zachy's pitch is bounced right back to him. He looks the runner at third, over to first. Huge play right there. 2 outs now. And Mitch Bilodeau comes to the plate. So of all the things that could happen for the White Sox to push over a run, one of the very few things that could happen, which would not allow them to do so, happened. Ground ball right back to the pitcher. And that ball is bounced over to third. Henderson up with it. Long throw across the infield. Scooped. No, he can't scoop it out of the dirt. Nice play, though, by Henderson. It was going to be a long shot from the get-go. And even if it was dug out after the hop, not sure if it would have been in time anyway. The run scores. An infield single for Bilodeau. J.T. Brown scores. Over to third base goes Denharder. And a stolen base for Bilodeau. Mike Bernardi at the plate now. It's 7-5. Huge run for the White Sox. Gives them a little more breathing room going into the bottom of the seventh. Pitch in there for a strike. And time called as the pitcher wants to talk it over again. Anthony Zachy with Peters. And that pitch is in there. Strike 3 called. So he caught him looking. The third out of the inning. But the White Sox will pick up a very crucial run here. And as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning, they lead it 7-5 over the Mets. Bottom of the 7th inning. And David Flicker for the Mets will start things off. They trail 7-5. Their last chance here in this World Series. And that pitch is in there for strike 0-1. And let's see if the White Sox can hold it and win the title here. National League and American League, and it would be the American League winning this one. And that ball is bounced in front of the plate, and it's a foul ball. 0-2 the count. On deck is Josh Master. Flicker, 1 for 2 today, singled and scored in the third, struck out in the fourth. And that pitch is swung on and missed, and down goes Flicker. First out here in the bottom of the 7th, and so the White Sox are 2 outs away from the championship. Here's Master. He walked and scored a run in the third, struck out in the 5th. He's 1 for 2. So his third at bat here, left-hand batter. And JT Brown trying to close this one out for his squad, the White Sox. Swing and a miss, 0-1. On deck, Taylor Madigan, the shortstop. Pitch inside, 1-1. And the umpires today did a pretty good job. The home plate umpire, Doug Smith. The field umpire, Johnny Roman. Swing and a miss, 1-2. To Master. And actually, that's strike 3. So that one ball I thought was a ball was a strike. So 2 outs, and Taylor Madigan, the last out, last hope for the Mets. 2 outs, bottom of the 7th. They trail 7-5. Looks at a ball, 1-0. So the White Sox so close to finishing this one out. And that ball is high, 2-0. Taylor Madigan has been busy, walked, stole a base in the first, flied out to center field in the third, singled to right field in the 5th, stole a base, went to third on an error and was stranded. 2-0 pitch is high, 3-0. Travis Henderson, the pitcher, is on deck, or actually he was the starting pitcher, wound up at third. And the 3-0 pitch is high, ball 4, so a 4-pitch walk. Madigan on base for the 3rd time. And here is Travis Henderson. And that pitch is hit into left center field, coming over. Nobody can get it. Corcoran's going to run it down. And let's see, they're going to wave him around third. The throw is not going to be in time. Over to third base. They've got him in a run down the throw to second. Not in time. And so that run in the top of the 7th was very important for the White Sox as they lead now 7-6. A double by Henderson. And here is Ian Jason. Ian, 1 for 3, 3 runs batted in. He had that bases loaded double back in the 3rd inning. And now the tying run is at second base. So Brown's pitch to Ian is low, 1-0. Anthony Zaki is on deck. The 1-0 pitch in there for a strike, 1-1. Ian Jason, the second baseman for the Mets. The White Sox crowd and the Mets crowd both making noise. And that pitch is hit into left field. It's going to drop. The game is going to be tied at 7. And Ian Jason is at first base, and they're not done yet. Anthony Zaki, the third baseman now. He is 1 for 3, struck out in the 6th inning. He flied out to center field in the 3rd, and single and solo base in the 2nd. There goes the runner. And he's going to steal. So the winning run now in scoring position. This was a pass ball by the catcher, Nick Stanitsas. And that's going to be a balk. Nope. Did he step off? He stepped off. It's a good thing he stepped off, or he would have balked that runner to third base. So Anthony Zaki made some great plays at third, pitched very well in the field there. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. So anything hit into the outfield will probably have a play at the plate. Pitch to Zaki is high. Brown's pitch is high again. So Zaki being very patient at the plate. The winning run, the championship run in scoring position over at second base. And that pitch is low, ball 3. Ian Jason at second. Brown set. Here's the pitch. Swung on and hit into the air to right field. Coming around third is Jason. The throw to the plate is not in time. And that's the game. The Mets with 3 runs with 2 outs come back in the bottom of the 7th inning to defeat the White Sox 8-7 in the inaugural Juniors World Series game. And the National League comes from behind here in the bottom of the 7th inning. 3 runs, and it's Anthony Zaki with the game-winning single to right field, scoring Ian Jason all the way around from second. The throw to the plate was wide. They weren't going to get him anyway. And what an exciting game. We haven't done a Juniors game, at least in quite some time. And this one went down to the wire. You couldn't ask for anything better than that. So the Mets, the 2007 champions, we hope you enjoyed this game. Ken Gonzalez, George Landry Productions. Till next time, be safe and have a great day, everyone.
You know, I understand our Little League is something like 32 or 30, I think 32 years old. And, you know, one thing I always wonder about the history and things that happened. Well, tonight we set a little history here. It's our first Juniors World Series game, and it was one heck of a good game. That's as good as it gets. You know, starting the Juniors division was a little bit controversial, but I am so happy. I've seen these teams play, and I hear from so many people what a great time they had in Juniors. And I tell you, I look back, I think it's one of the best decisions we made. So, and I hope all you kids had a lot of fun and had a great season. So, but to the business at hand, what we have here is two championship teams, both National League Mets, American League White Sox.
Yeah.
So, in that, congratulations, guys. Okay, like I said, it was a super game. It couldn't be better played, and couldn't have been a better outcome. So, what I'd like to do first, though, I'd like to introduce Scott Corcoran, the manager of the American League champion White Sox. Come on up, Scott. As you guys all know, we've been working on the fields like mad, and got a lot of stuff done on this field. We still have no PA system, so we're using this handheld model here. So, Scott, I hope you like a bullhorn, because here it is.
Thank you. Well, I'd like to congratulate the Mets. It was an excellent game. Went back and forth, and you guys did a great job of getting hits there in the clutch. Nice job, and congratulations. Okay, I'd like to introduce my coaches. I've got our third base coach, Rich Woodward. And our bench coach, John Brown. Okay, all will go in order in which they're standing on the line. The first is Scotty Corcoran, our center fielder. Next is Keith Brody, our third baseman. And Corey Denherter, starting pitcher today. And Mitchell Bilodeau. Michael Bernardi. JT Brown. Our Sportsmanship of the Year winner, Michael Barr. Daryl Day. Josh Woodward. Nicholas Stanitsis. Extra coach. And Kevin Callahan. And David McCormick, who got injured, gets the last trophy.
All right, parents, let's have a big round of applause for your White Sox. And the American League. God, I'm amazed how big these guys are. All righty, now, Mets. Wow, what a comeback in that game. That was a great comeback. I hope you guys heard that in a long time. That was a great game. So, let me introduce the manager of the Mets, Mike Henderson. Come on up, Mike.
Yeah, that was pretty exciting. Couldn't have written it up any better. A good job, the White Sox. You guys had us on our heels for a while. Actually, the whole game. So, but anyway, congratulations again. And then we'll go with our coaches. Start with Sandy Madigan. He's actually the nuts and the bolts of our team this year. Really good on the teaching and training and improving, which they all did. Charlie Prokop always kept us all positive and happy. Coached with me for years. Thank you, Charlie. Josh Master, most improved fielder on the team. Come on up. The Iron Man, Daniel Peters. A lot of hard games. Worked hard. Thank you. Marvin Adonias, Sportsman of the Year, Sportsman of the Team. Thank you, Marvin. Mr. Clutch, Travis Henderson. Kevin Gottschalk. Made the highlight reel a few times out there. Sawyer, fleet-footed Sawyer. He threw big again. The spark plug, Taylor Madigan. Jared Clark, probably most improved hitter. Probably the smartest guy in the team, David Flicker. He tells me what to do. Late season free agent acquisition came through big for us, Ian Jason. See, you're always last in line. Huh? Game-winning hit, game-winning pitcher. Nice job. Thanks to all the parents and everyone that came out. It was kind of exciting today. It was good to have you. Thank you.
All right, what we're going to do is we're going to have a big round of applause for him. But first, I want to tell them what's going to happen here. Let's get both the teams out here behind home plate, and we'll do some joint teams. Hang on a second. Oh yeah, come on over. Let's have everybody line up here for joint team pictures. And then after that, we'll take turns. Each team can get pictures. Parents, feel free to come on in and get pictures of your guys if you want. It is sort of looking like Halloween over here, isn't it? Okay, parents, I think this is a good time for that big round of applause for both of these teams. Let's make some noise. Come on, louder.